Hello, students. Good morning. Today, we are going to start our next chapter, that is, Chapter 6, Physical and Chemical Changes. So, students, this is the first part of this chapter in which we will study about physical changes, about their properties, their examples, and then we will study about chemical changes, their properties, and examples. So, students, before starting physical and chemical changes, we should know what is change. In sixth class, we have studied about changes and its classification, means different type of changes we have studied. So, this topic is not new for you. You all are familiar to change and its types. So, students, as we know, change is the law of nature and the change is the nature of our life. So what is change? So change means when something get altered or modified, or we can say change is to become different from the previous one. In our daily life we can see so many changes. These changes may include, it may involve alteration in position, size, shape, color, state, taste, temperature, composition, or structure. Some changes can be noticed immediately, some other changes can be noticed after some time, and so many changes remain unnoticed. As days and nights go on, so many changes we see around us. As we can see, so many changes in our homes, schools, garden, parks, or so many other places. One more important thing, changes always have some reason, means they have some cause. Some of the changes are germination of seeds, flowering of plants, melting of ice, evaporation of water, drying of clothes, rotting of an egg, cooking of food, curdling of milk, photosynthesis, burning of paper, burning of fuels, burning of wood, photosynthesis, digestion, respiration. So, all these are changes. So in sixth class, we have studied about classification of changes also, in which we have studied about slow and fast changes, reversible and irreversible changes, physical and chemical changes, periodic and non-periodic changes. Then we have studied about desirable and undesirable changes, and we have studied about natural and man-made changes also. So in this class we have to study about types of changes, in which we have to study about physical change and chemical change. So first we will see what is physical change. So students, physical change, as we know, physical change is the change in which no new substances formed, means a change where is no any new substances formed. Such a change is called physical change. So why no new substances formed? So physical change is the change where changes takes place in the physical properties of a substance. Now, one more thing is there, physical properties. What are physical properties? So, properties like shape, size, state, color, these are the properties. These properties of a substance are called physical properties. So when changes takes place in these physical properties of a substance, then no new substance will form, and such type of change will call as physical change. So physical change is the change in which no new substances form. There will be only change in the physical properties as shape, size, color, state, etc. One more thing, in physical changes, the chemical composition of substance, means the composition of a substance always remains unchanged. One more very important thing, physical change is a temporary and reversible change. So now students, we will see the examples of physical changes. So first one is interconversion of states of water. As we know that there are three states of water, that is solid, liquid and gas. In solid form, water is present in ice form. Then in a liquid form it is present as water form, and in gaseous form and gaseous state it is present as water vapor. So these three are the states of water, that is ice, water and water vapor, and these three forms are interconvertible. When they convert into one another, there will be no any formation of new substance. That is why the interconversion is a physical change. Means suppose we are taking out ice from the freezer and we are keeping it in the open, then after some time it will melt and ice will be converted into liquid water form. When we will boil this liquid water, then that liquid water will convert it into water vapor form. Again, when that water vapor form will be cool down, then water vapor will be converted into liquid water form. And again we will fill that liquid water in the ice tray and we will keep in the freezer. Then again we will get ice. Means ice is changing into liquid water form. Liquid water form is changing into water vapor form. Then water vapor is again changes into liquid water, and liquid water again changes into ice. So these are the interconversion of different states of water where no new substances form. It means that interconversion of states of water is a physical change. Next one is drying of wet clothes. So drying of wet clothes is also a physical change where, first of all, in wet clothes, in between the fibers of clothes, water is present in liquid state. When we will keep that wet clothes in the sunlight, then because of the heat of sunlight, that water, liquid water, is evaporated in the water vapor form. And as we know, as it again go in the atmosphere, when it cool down, then water vapor again changes into liquid water form. So this is also where is no any new substances formed, so this is also a physical change. Next one is grinding of substances. So when we grind substances, means when we grind wheat or rice or jar or bajra or anything for pulses, etc., then there will be no any formation of new substances. Only grinding makes break that grains into finer particles. So only their shape and sizes are changing. No any new substances are forming in these changes. So grinding of substance is a physical change. Then dissolving a solid. So suppose we are dissolving salt or sugar in water, so no new substance will form in these changes. And when we will heat that solution, which is made up, which is salt solution or sugar solution, so water will get evaporated. And after some time, when whole water get evaporated, at the last salt or sugar will left behind. So, in this also, no new substances are formed, only the states of salt or sugar are changing. So, when we dissolve any substance in water, that change will be a physical change because no new substances are formed in these changes. Now, tearing of pages means tearing off sheets of paper. Suppose we have a sheet of paper and we are tearing it into many pieces, then what is happening? Only the shape and size of paper are changing. No new substances are formed in this change also. Means this is also a physical change. Then boiling, evaporation and condensation means again that process is interconversion of water, states of water. So boiling means liquid water we are boiling and that water get converted into water vapor form. Evaporation is the same thing. Boiling takes place at a definite temperature and evaporation takes place at all temperature. Condensation means when water vapor is cooled down and it is again converted into liquid water form. So these processes also, there is no any formation of new substances. So these processes, these changes are also a physical change. Now hammering of metal to form sheets. So some metals are so malleable means they can be beaten down into sheets. So when metals are beaten down to make very thin sheets, only the uh, shape get changed, means metal will contain the same substances, only the shape gets changed. So hammering of metal is also a physical change. Now we will see physical change by dissolving sugar in water, means we have to show that dissolving sugar in water is a physical change. So for this we will need sugar crystals, water, china dish, bunsen burner and tripod stand. So first of all, what we will do, we will take sugar crystal and we will keep the sugar crystal in the china dish, and we will pour some water into it and dissolve the sugar in the water. So obviously the water will become sweet and sugar will disappear in the water. So water will become sweet, it means still sugar molecules are present in water. So first of all, we can see the sugar as it is formed in the solid form, and now we cannot see the sugar, but we can feel it, we can taste it, because the water becomes sweet. It means just the state of sugar has changed. Now we will evaporate the sugar solution in a china dish over the bunsen burner. So after some time, when we'll start heating it, after some time water will evaporate it, and at the last only a white residue is left. So that white residue has all the properties which is just same, which is just similar to the sugar which was we have earlier dissolved in water. So here also no new substances formed. It means that dissolving sugar in water is a physical change. Now, properties of physical change. So first one is a physical change is temporary and easily reversible. So for this we can take one example. When we stretch a rubber band, it changes its shape, but it returns to its original shape when we force when that force is removed. Similarly, when the wax is melted, it only changes its state. After some time, it becomes solid. So physical change is temporary and easily reversible. But one more thing is there, when exceptions, some exceptions are also there, as breaking of cup. When any cup or glass get broken, it changes into so many pieces. So these broken pieces cannot be joined to make a cup or glass again. But here also no new substances are formed. If no new substances are formed, it means it is a physical change. But now it is a permanent change, because that glass or cup has broken permanently, and it is irreversible, because now we cannot make that original or initial glass or cup. Next one is no new substances are formed during a physical change. So all of us know, when we will take ice, it will and we will keep it in the open, then it will melt, it will form water. Water is boiled, it will form water vapor. Water vapor will be cooled down, it will again form liquid, and when again liquid water is kept in freezer, it will form ice. So no new change, no new substances are formed. It means that it is physical change, and in physical changes no new substances are formed. Next one is heat may be given out or absorbed in a physical change. So as we have studied about the beating of metal sheet, when the metal sheets are hammering into thin sheets, means to make thin sheets, then when you will touch that sheets, it will feel hot. Or we can say, when we add washing soda to a small quantity of water in a vessel, then also heat is given out, due to which solution gets heated. So we can say that in physical changes, heat may be given out or heat may be absorbed. Now next thing is no alteration, means no change in mass takes place during a physical change. So when we will dissolve a known amount of suppose we are taking common salt in a small quantity of water in a beaker. Now take this water in a china dish, heat the dish over the flame, over the bunsen burner, until all its water has evaporated and only the salt is left behind. Now weigh the salt again. It will weigh the same. It means in physical changes, no alteration, no change in weight or no change in mass takes place. Now, these two changes, reversible changes and irreversible changes, you have studied in sixth class. Reversible changes means a change that can be reversed, means we can get the initial or original substance by reversing the action. So such type of changes are called reversible changes, as melting of ice, boiling of water, or touching of mimosa. We have studied about touch me not plant. So these changes are reversible changes. Then irreversible changes means the changes that cannot be reversed, means we cannot get back the original substances or initial substances by reversing the action. Such changes are called irreversible changes, as burning of paper. When we burn the paper, we get ash, smoke. So we cannot get back the original paper, the initial paper, by reacting these ash or smoke. So it is a irreversible change. Then weathering of rocks or falling of leaves from a tree, then photosynthesis, burning of fuels, death and decay of plant and animals, all these are the examples of irreversible change. Now we will see chemical change. So as we have studied in physical changes that no new substances are formed in physical changes. Physical changes are temporary changes. These are reversible changes. So chemical change is just opposite to the physical changes. In chemical changes, always there will be formation of new substances. So we can say the change in which new substances are formed, such changes are called chemical changes. The new substances which are formed in chemical changes, these new substances are entirely, means they are completely different from the original substance. The original substances from which they are made up of, they will have different composition from them. These changes are permanent changes and irreversible changes. Irreversible changes means we cannot get back the original substance, the initial substance from which new substances are have formed. And chemical changes, they are not merely a change of state, means only a state will not change, but it is the composition of substance also change. And chemical change cannot be reversed, and it is always accompanied by heat, light, or electricity. So here we can see the examples of chemical changes. So first of all, we will see charring of sugar. So when sugar is heated over a flame in any container, so first of all, what happened? Sugar starts melting. Then on a continuous heating, a black powdery substance, that is charcoal, is left behind. So this powdery substance, which it will have completely different properties than sugar, and it cannot be converted back into sugar. So it cannot be converted back into sugar. It means it is an irreversible change, and new substances are formed. New substance, that is charcoal, is formed. That is why charring of sugar is a chemical change. Next one is burning of paper. So burning of paper produces smoke, carbon dioxide, and some other gases, and ash. So again, new substances are formed. That is why burning of paper is a chemical change. Then when iron is left exposed in open air, so open means in air, oxygen is present, all of us know. And when great amount of water vapor is present in air, then water vapor, oxygen, and iron, these three react together, and they will form a reddish brown flaky substance that get deposited on the surface of iron. This reddish brown flaky flaky substance is called rust, and this process is called rusting. So again, a new substance is formed. That is why rusting of iron is also a chemical change. Then cooking of food. So cooking changes the taste, smell, means odor, and composition of food. So means new substances are formed, and these new substances have different property from the raw materials. So again, it is a chemical change. Then digestion. All of us know digestion means when larger molecules are broken down into smaller, simpler, and soluble form. So digestion process also produces new substances, as we have seen in second chapter that carbohydrate, when it get digested, it form simple sugars. Then when fat get digested, it form fatty acid and glycerols. So new substances are formed. That's why digestion is also a chemical change. After that, we have studied about photosynthesis also. So in photosynthesis, when carbon dioxide and water react together in the form of they form glucose and oxygen. So again, two new substances are formed. So photosynthesis is also chemical change. So here we will see how burning of magnesium ribbon is a chemical change. Now magnesium is a metal. It is present in the form of ribbons in laboratory. So for this activity, we will need magnesium ribbon, sandpaper, pair of tongs, then burner, test tube, dropper, and litmus paper. Litmus paper, both red and blue litmus paper, we will need in this activity. About litmus, we have studied in last chapter that litmus is acid-base indicator. So first of all, we will take a magnesium ribbon, then we will clean its tip with sandpaper. Then we will hold it with a pair of tongs and we will heat it on burner. When we will start heating it, then we will see that it will start burning with a white flame. When this magnesium ribbon completely burns, it will form a powdery ash, white powdery ash. Then we will take that white powdery ash in a test tube and we will add little water into it and we will stir the mixture well. Now we have to take these litmus paper, red and blue litmus paper, and we will, with the help of dropper, we will put few drops of the solution on blue and red litmus paper. So all of us know why we use litmus paper. We use litmus paper just to know the nature of chemical nature of the substance. So here we have to know the chemical nature of that solution which we have formed by adding ash and water. So it will tell us whether that solution is acidic or basic. So two things happen in this activity. First of all, when magnesium ribbon burn completely, it forms white powdery ash. So first of all, magnesium means Mg. Mg is symbol of magnesium. And all of us know that oxygen supports burning. Means anything which is burning, it burns in the presence of oxygen. So here we can say that magnesium is reacting with oxygen gas. So when magnesium reacts with oxygen, it forms magnesium oxide, that is MgO, means white powdery ash, which is formed after the complete burning of magnesium, that is white powdery ash is magnesium oxide, MgO. After that, we have taken that ash, means MgO, magnesium oxide, into test tube and then we have added water. So again, when we will stir it, then magnesium oxide reacts with water, means H2O, and it will form magnesium hydroxide, means one solution will form, that solution will be of magnesium hydroxide, that is MgOH whole twice. So first of all, when magnesium burn completely, it form magnesium oxide. So when magnesium and oxygen reacts together, they are forming magnesium oxide. Magnesium oxide is a new substance. It means that reaction is a chemical reaction. It is a chemical change. Again, when magnesium oxide get dissolved in water, it forms magnesium hydroxide. So again, a new substance is formed. It means again, it is a chemical change. Then we will put that magnesium hydroxide on both litmus paper, blue and red litmus paper. Then blue litmus paper will remain blue and red litmus paper changes into blue in color. So all of us know when base react with red litmus paper, it turns red litmus paper to blue in color. It means magnesium hydroxide is basic in nature, and hence two new substances are formed, that is magnesium oxide in first process and second process magnesium hydroxide. It means burning of magnesium ribbon is a chemical change. Then our next reaction is when iron metal reacts with copper sulfate solution, then iron sulfate and copper are formed. So again, two new substances are formed. So what happened in this reaction? Students, copper sulfate solution has blue color. Means you can see in the image, the first one solution is of copper sulfate. Copper sulfate solution is of blue color. So first what we will do, we will take one iron nail. Iron nail, all of you know. So first of all, we will take iron nail and we will keep that iron nail in the solution of copper sulfate in which we have added few drops of dilute sulfuric acid. So it means that first we will take copper sulfate solution in which we will add few drops of dilute sulfuric acid, and then we will keep that iron nail into that copper sulfate solution. Then we will leave it for half an hour and we will observe the color change. That after half an hour we will see that blue colored solution will become green, and that iron nail which is present at the bottom of the solution will become reddish brown in color. So why this change takes place? Because in copper sulfate solution copper is present, which is after during the reaction iron replaces that copper from the copper sulfate solution and form iron sulfate solution and copper. So that copper is present in reddish brown deposit on the nail. So when copper sulfate solution reacts with iron, it forms iron sulfate solution and which is green in color and copper. So again in this reaction, two new substances are formed. That is why it is a chemical change. Then next thing, when baking soda we have studied in last chapter. Baking soda means sodium bicarbonate reacts with vinegar. Vinegar also we have studied, that is acetic acid. We have studied that vinegar is used in enhancing the taste of food and as a preservative in pickles. So when baking soda means acetic acid and baking soda means sodium bicarbonate and vinegar means acetic acid. They both react together. They form carbon dioxide gas plus sodium acetate plus water. So here one more important thing is that carbon dioxide gas in this reaction, when acetic acid and sodium bicarbonate means vinegar and baking soda, they react together, carbon dioxide gas evolved. Carbon dioxide gas is released with a hissing sound, means sound of hissing sound. It is like sound. So with this sound, carbon dioxide gas is released. Again, when this carbon dioxide gas is passed through lime water means calcium hydroxide. So when this carbon dioxide gas is passed through lime water turns milky. Why it turns milky? Because carbon dioxide gas reacts with calcium hydroxide, that is lime water, and form calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate we all know as chalk, and water. So that water turns milky because of the formation of calcium carbonate. So here also in both processes new substances are formed. That is why it is a chemical change. Now we will see the properties of chemical change. So first of all, new substances, they are formed, they are having entirely new properties with the original one. So suppose we are talking about burning of wood. When wood burns, then it form ash and soot, and these molecules of wood, now they have been changed into new substances. And except these things, some gases are also produced. So new substances are formed. That's why it is a chemical change. And these new substances having different properties than the wood. Again, we have studied about burning of magnesium. So when magnesium burns to produce a white powdery mass, white powdery ash, that is magnesium oxide. So magnesium oxide, now it is present in the form of ash, and we all know magnesium initially it was a metal. So obviously it is a metal, so it will have luster. So magnesium oxide that is formed after the burning of magnesium ribbon, which is a ash, does not have the same color or luster as that of magnesium. Now second one, chemical change cannot be reversed to get original substances. As we can see, formation of curd is formed by milk. So when the curd is formed from milk, we cannot get back the initial or original milk. So chemical changes cannot be reversed back, it means they are irreversible. Then next one, chemical changes are accompanied with changes in energy in the form of heat, light, or sound, as quicklime. Quicklime means bina bujha chuna. So that tuna which is available in the market. So quicklime, when it comes in contact with water, slaked lime is formed. And with the evolution of large amount of heat, so when you will take that tuna which is available in the market and you will keep that tuna in the water, then you can see the whole water turns milky because that tuna get start dissolving in water, but a lot of heat energy is produced. Then we can say burning of petrol or diesel in the engine of a car is a chemical change, because petrol or diesel molecules are broken down and new substances are formed, new molecules are formed, and heat is also released. And next one is change in weight. As we have seen in physical change, that there is no any change in weight or mass of the substance, but in chemical change there will be change in weight or mass of a substance. So as we know about rusting, when rusting is a chemical process, and if you measure the weight of rusted iron, then you will find that it is more than that of the original weight of iron. Similarly, we have studied about burning of candle also, which is partly chemical change and partly physical change. So in this also, when wax candle burns, new substances such as smoke, gases, and water vapor are formed, and small wax is left behind after melting, means the weight will change. So this is all about the properties of chemical changes. Now some understanding based questions are there. First one is differentiate between physical and chemical changes that you can do. Now how can you say that evaporation and condensation are physical changes? Now all of you are knowing why they are physical changes, because new substances are formed. Then name a physical change which is permanent and irreversible, because we have studied that physical changes are, most of the physical changes are temporary and reversible, but some changes are there, physical changes are there, which is permanent and irreversible also. Then what happened when iron reacts with copper sulfate solution, and which gas is produced when baking soda reacts with vinegar? So you can write these questions and question answers in your additional copy. Watch the video and try to solve all objective type questions given in your chapter. Thank you, class.